Hey everyone, it's me, Ian from the Postal Hub podcast.
And Marek from Last Mile
And
Experts.
we are the last mile prophets, and we are going to be gazing into our crystal ball again when it comes to postal operators delivering groceries. Let's just set the scene really quickly here. Marek, you were part of the team, you led the team that set up, what was it? Amazon Fresh, Amazon Pantry. Which one was
Well,
it?
I wish I'd led the team. I was part of the
All
team
right,
because, first of all, as you know, there's one leader at Amazon.
understood.
But no, I was heavily involved in the team that first of all started with something called Pantry, which is a lot easier to do, which is a sort of, tinned goods and non-perishable items.
Yeah.
And then step two was Amazon Fresh, which is the really difficult stuff.
So, in this current pandemic, we've seen a few postal operators step up to start doing a few more groceries. Now, postal operators doing groceries is not a very new thing. I mean, I remember Peter Summers, when he was at B Post, he's of course now the CEO of Emirates Post, talking about delivering groceries 8 years ago. So it's not a hugely new thing, but Australia Post is delivering for the two major supermarket chains in Australia, but just doing these they're like, not, I don't want to say survival kits, but they're these standard kits, okay, and with non-perishables, like you said.
It's pantry stuff.
Basically pantry stuff, so tinned goods, breakfast cereals, pasta, that sort of thing. Posti in Finland, hello to everybody from Posti, has been delivering for K City Market. I had to look that one up. K City Market. And now our friends in Norway, Post and Norge, have started delivering for the co-op there. So this has been stimulated by or brought forward thanks to the pandemic, but will it last, Marek? Will postal operators have an ongoing role in delivering food?
Well, guess what? The answer is it depends.
Oh, I was waiting for that. It depends.
It depends, Ian. I think for the non-perishable stuff, potentially yes. But I think it's gonna be dependent upon the approach of the operator,
Yeah.
how holistic their service offering is going to be, and how far they are able to offer efficient last mile delivery. I think it's going to be, in terms of the perishable stuff, it's going to be a lot more difficult.
So let's
Because
let's
it,
just have a look at this. How it will be handled by the postal operator, because I think it's well understood that it's different. You've made a point that delivering a fresh banana is different to delivering a packet of pasta, let's say. However, how do you get it into the network? I mean, are your existing drivers going to handle it, or do you have to set up a new network? We've seen
and that is it, Ian, and that is exactly it. The perishable stuff you cannot do through hubs and spokes. You need localized stock. It's a completely new model. So effectively, your last mile capability has to go almost point to point. It will go to the localized stock location in the way it goes to the post office and pick up from there. My view is in the same way that most posts, I think, treat parcels, or at least historically have treated parcels differently. And you've got a different guy with a van, not a guy with a bicycle or a postman's sack.
yeah. So we're seeing a variety of models there. Some people, because there was a move for a lot of posts to split letter and parcel delivery when letter volumes were very strong, and now they're trying to bring them back together. And there's a lot of questions around what kind of vehicle do you use, and so on and so forth. Let's also talk about, there are a couple of examples where, I mean, we've got Swiss Post, which I think is sort of when I say an
Oh,
outlier,
the bread one, yeah, the fresh bread.
right now, this is an interesting one, but they've got the infrastructure to back it up. So the Swiss people typically have a little parcel box where you can drop your stuff, and they have the culture as well. So you can be fairly confident if somebody delivers a loaf of bread to you while you're not at home, nobody's going to swipe it during the day. So then there's the issue of how do you deliver it if someone is not home. So is this where smart locks come in as well, Marek?
Absolutely. But Ian, I think you've literally you've nailed it. It depends on the specifics, on the infrastructure of a given post, on the cultural habits, on accessibility of either PUDOs or some other point that's convenient, or RPLs, residential parcel lockers, or any other capability, smart locks. So I think it's a very, I would say, complex question. The fact is, post-COVID, the world will change. I think we all agree with that. And I think all carriers, including posts, will have an opportunity to do more things.
Because we've read about these supermarkets are having difficulty with capacity, and they're bringing on more and more drivers. I know that I think it was Woolworths or Coles, one of them in Australia, has just had to take on several hundred new drivers to cope with the new volumes, and that enables them to then offer a kind of a level of service that they had pre-pandemic. So, and we've discussed before about how people have now had a taste of home delivery and what that might mean.
Yeah, I think you know what, a taste for simplified e-commerce, shall we say, fulfillment, because it's not in the. It's I think the home delivery bit. Yes, of course, it's convenient, but we've had this debate before. For me, if there's a residential parcel locker that is 25 meters from my doorstep, and I don't have to get up if I don't want to get up to meet the courier at my door or whatever else. That's also convenient. So, but I think there's no question the last mile has changed, and a lot of that change will be maintained. Coming back to our discussion point, how the post will fit in, I think it's going to depend upon how far they want to seize the day as regards this opportunity. Are they prepared to invest time and resources in a solution that will be dedicated? Because the postman on his bicycle, he may be able to do some small items, but he's not going to deliver 100 loaves of bread.
And this is sort of the question I was going to ask is, at a certain point you have to say, well, these parcels are not replacing lost letter volumes. They are. It's a completely new business. And is it within the Post's core competencies or outside? Is it within the Post's mission or outside? And we've seen that different posts have different missions. So some posts have to deliver magazines and newspapers as part of their charter, whereas others, they're only tasked with the letter, and everything else they do is sort of on top of that.
Before we close it, for me, because I think this is a really cool discussion, there could be two extreme levels. One level is where a post effectively, as an infrastructure player, offers their network and becomes the enabler for everyone else in the market through their network. The other extreme is the post develops capability itself and offers several either niche services or futuristic services that are considered needed. But I think for the latter, it's going to require government support.
I think we're seeing, though, Mark, just quickly wrapping up, posts responding to the pandemic, the problem of capacity in supermarket delivery networks, and whether it's a long-term solution to falling letter volumes, I'm not necessarily sure, but I think you're right when you say it's a specialised task, and Post will have to seriously ask themselves, is this something we want to continue doing? Comment below, everybody. Comment below.
Especially from posts, please, because we don't tend to get too much input from guys from the postal operators, and I think this is a really interesting topic.
So if you've got experience at this in your posts, if you've tried something, whether it's home delivery of meals, again, Swiss Post has done that, whether it's delivering a pantry thing, or bPost's tried that, types with supermarket, I think that Post NL is doing something there. There's loads of things happening. Share it below. Let's start the conversation, or keep the conversation going. And go over to Slido as well. That's going across the ticker right now, one way or the other. I can never remember. Go to Slido, ask your questions, vote on other people's questions, and we'll cover those topics in future episodes of The Last Mile Profits. Marta Krzyzewski, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks, everyone.